one of the little short vignettes in the book is someone, I think maybe a spiritual director, saying to you that they'd never seen anyone be able to be an activist and a contemplative equally well. And you thought, I'll take that on.
Yes.
That sounds like the kind of challenge I like. My guess is Greenbelt is full of both those categories of people and some people trying to be both. But that I think it's one of the divides that we can struggle to cross. That those of us who feel like, okay, the way we respond to the pain of the world is so clearly needs to be about inner work, right? Needs to be about discipleship or dealing with our shadow side or, dealing with our unconscious bias or whatever the language that's comfortable to us is. And that's the only way that we can fix the world. And then those that say, yes, fine, but the world is burning, let's march. Like it is outward, activist postures that are important here and everything else is just a distraction. Do you see that divide and what helps us cross it?
Yeah, I see that divide. And I think maybe in the past few years, I've seen more of a hunger to kind of bridge it and more of a recognition. I mean, you see this in social media spaces. So many of the activists who really shepherded us through the summer of 2020 and in the wake of so much grief and Black trauma, a lot of them have gone quiet. And they're in this kind of season of reclamation of self, of rest, of things like beauty, because I just do not think it's possible to sustain any kind of meaningful liberation pursuit without a kind of contemplative connection, a connection to one's interior life, and vice versa. I mean, I'm maybe more of the opposite, where I feel very safe inside myself and safe journeying into my interior life, and but I'm not someone who readily is going to contend with the violence I do day to day in the world because of that interior world. So I think both are needed. And, activism without work of the interior life will just leave you completely exhausted and used and actually vulnerable and in a system of replicating injustice by kind of sacrificing your body for the cause. And I think, a journey into one's interior life without an awareness of how we move in the world and the injustice in the world can become extremely lonely and numb and just a completely numb life where you might feel okay, but kind of just dissociated from the really present physical pains around you and in you. So it makes you vulnerable in a different way.
Yeah. I've got friends who talk a bit about spiritual bypassing, that it's a sort of to distract ourselves from the pain of the world. We go inwards, but whatever the opposite of activist bypassing, we refuse to deal with the mess inside.